Welcome to Reread. I'm still covering a ton of stuff that was left out of the timeline. Lots of stuff was missing from this timeline that will be corrected by the time this video comes out. But I need to talk about the Droids comic books. Didn't talk about them. 1 through 6 in the special. You guys harp on how many times am I ever gonna re-review the Young Boba Fett book number 6? The answer is no. That book sucked, and I've totally forgotten everything about it, except, you know, the stuff with Anakin and Boba Fett was just basically pointless. There you go. There's your little review. Not reviewing stuff that sucks again. Sorry, not going to review that. So here we go. Droids number 1 through 6. Olag Grek is the villain here. He's the villain in this entire Ryder Wenham series, because Ryder Wenham was the person who wrote Droids. Basically, he's transporting an IG-88 assassin droid to a battle arena where R2-D2 and C-3PO accidentally let the IG-88 escape. Olag forces the droids to track him down, only to have them escape as well. So now they're on Olag Grek's, poop list, for lack of a better name. Now, at the end of this issue, they come across Baron Peterfreeze, that's his name, and their grandson, who I've totally forgotten his name now, but he's like a little brat to him. In the second issue, basically, the family reveals to both C-3PO and R2-D2 that, hey, we have some bad history with Olag. He's a creep. He stiffed us on a deal there, and we've never liked him. He's always wanted this special prototype, hyperspace drive that was created by the Baron, and the Baron just refuses to give it to him, And of course, in issue 3, his son, who's been a brat to the droids the whole time, tripping them, playing pranks on basically 3PO the whole time, he decides he's going to take the prototype to Olag and make a deal because he didn't care about his parents. He didn't listen to his grandfather, the Baron. He just wants to make some money. So he goes to Olag, presents him with a prototype. It's not the prototype the kid thought it was. He went, well, I'll go get it. And then, of course, Olag goes, I got a better idea, and holds him ransom so the Baron will have to hand over that drive. But don't worry, Olag's plans are going to come to ruin again as C-3PO and R2-D2 find a way out of that jam. Book number 3, basically, droids and the grandson get captured by pirates who like R2's stew. He makes a special stew, and they really like it, so they're going to keep him on as a chef. Remember, the Droids is still kind of a children's book. The characters, the villains, the aliens, they're kind of cartoony too. Everything's kind of cartoony of it, so it is a much lighter book. And that's why I didn't get it originally. I looked it over, I was like, man, this looks like it's kiddie. I'm not going to get this. And only later did I go get back and get the trades, which I still have today. But never had it was coming out back when I was collecting Star Wars comic books, but I wasn't collecting every Star Wars comic book. It did not meet my expectations. But reading them now, they do have a charm to them because the droids are going to be goofy, so the villains need to be a little goofy as well. I get it. I know why they did that. What happens is C-3PO and R2 get challenged by a pirate, and the Pirate King goes, if I can't remember what the deal is, I'll let you go if you win. If you lose, I'm going to dismantle you and sell you for scrap. Well, of course, through wild antics, the droids win, and they capture I think it's called the Leadership Medallion. I can't remember, of the Pirate King, and the Pirate King takes it and throws it to the ground. Like, he refuses to accept their victory. Well, that's a big no-no according to their pirate, book of rules. And one of the pirates goes, hey, if you reject the Medal of Leadership, then we get to create a new Pirate King. And who is the new Pirate King? R2-D2, of course. He makes the best stew. Now, Olag is going to come in there and try to break it up. The pirates hate Olag because Olag set them up a long time ago. They used to be cooks themselves. But after plan to poison a hut goes wrong, Olag, to save his own skin, blamed these pirates for the stew, even though it was his idea to poison the hut. So the pirates hate Olag. Olag tries to get the drop on them, but of course fails, runs away, escapes the pirates. And in exchange for the droids to walk free, they go ahead, even though they're not in trouble at this point, they just want to keep R2-D2 around for a stew and C-3PO around too. They say, hey, look, let us go, and we'll give you, the grandson goes, let me have the droids back. I'll show you where Olag has some buried treasure here. And they say, okay, but one other thing, we need that recipe for that stew. It's charming now that I look at these, okay? And again, the droids are goofy, so the comic book being goofy, I don't mind. Issue number 4 has the best cover on it. It's that 3PX cover that I thought was so cool. I remember at that point I was not getting droids, but I looked at that cover and went, I need to read this one. I believe I read that one. I read that one issue inside the comic store. Yes, I know it's not a library, but I was a paying customer. I just didn't buy that book. But I really wanted to read it because I thought that cover looked so great. And it's basically 3PO gets scuffed up, he goes to a droid repair shop. They put a little bandage, an X, on his forehead. He gets confused with 3PX, the assassin droid that we've already seen chronologically as Darth Maul's droid. However, I don't think that was his true origin or intention, the writer's intention to make it an origin, because in this, when there's a big mix-up. Everyone thinks 3PO is 3PX. Some people think 3PX is 3PO. Somehow, Olag is back in this. He gets the droids, C-3PO and R2, to get into a battle arena because he mixes up C-3PO with C-3PX. And as R2 is kind of driving or piloting a big battle droid. He's not like in this big battle droid armored suit. 3PX shows up, blames, Olag for giving him all these modifications and making him kind of a misfit protocol droid, and then decides basically to kill himself. He walks into the arena, doesn't really put up a fight, and lets R2 smash himself. And it's like, right there it ties it just a one-off issue with 3PX that he just said, okay, it was something that was Olag's creation. Not to say it couldn't have gotten to the hands of Darth Maul later on, but it seems like Darth Maul was like added flavor to show you more 3PX. Or what I think might have happened is 3PX was probably really talked about. He was really a cool idea and a cool character. And after Ryder killed him off, he's like, man, I need to make more stories of him. So he threw him in to some of Darth Maul's stories, which I'm fine with. I'm fine with him doing that. But I don't think that was it doesn't feel like that was the original origin there. In issue number 4, Captain Forno, who was in the first book, she comes back. She's the main villain. She convinces 3PO and the grandson and R2 to help her harvest some crystals from a planet with rock creatures, guarding the crystals. She offers them 500 credits. They get the crystals for her, but of course she gyps them. The credit chip she gives them is fake. And she doesn't get all the crystals, but now she kind of knows where they are and how to harvest them by avoiding the rock creatures. She tries to get a bigger army by selling some of the money that she made off those crystals to get way more and make 500,000 credits or whatever. So she's going back to the planet, but she left 3PO and R2 there. Well, 3PO on the planet, R2 out in space. Well, when the Baron, finds his grandson, here's the story. He goes over to the planet. They pick up R2 in space. They get down to the planet. C-3PO is basically communicate with the rock creatures and realize they're like giant golems who use those crystals to give the dirt in the rock life. Like I guess they push together a lot of mud or whatever and then put the crystals inside the chest and they become alive. That's how they create themselves. So when Captain Forno comes back, she has to fight all of the earth or rock creatures or whatever they are. And they combine to some like megalodon at the end to tear apart her ship as she's trying to get away. And so her plans are foiled and the droids win again. Issue number 6 is possibly my favorite out of this whole story arc here because it revolves around 2 nursery droids who deliver someone's kid home, and he says, hey, where's the third one of you? One's green, one's green, one's red, and the other one supposedly is yellow that looks just like him. They're these old childlike little robots, and they said, well, he's getting repaired. And so they're walking through the street, people are saying hello to him and say, hey, where's whatever the 21BC is, and they go, oh, he's in the shop, he is getting repaired. And people are talking about how sad it is to see only 2 of them because they're the best of friends, all 3 of them. And they're skipping along these rocks that turn out to be like some kind of rock serpent that's in the water that kind of chases after them, and then of course they run and escape it. And at the end they get, one person asks him as they're almost home, where's your other one? They go, he's in the shop. And they're all sad. You're like, well, what's with them? And then they get home, they open up a little, I don't know, just like a little cylinder or whatever, and they go, hello 214B, and it's just like a shining, yellow square, and you're like, what happened? Well, what it turns out is C-3PO, R2-D2 are on the planet with the Baron and everything, and it turns out that C-3PO discovers they are being forced secretly to make weapons, and they refused. So the man who forced the nursery droids to make the weapons for him, he blows one away, and they were able to save his little memory unit. But he's gone, and you can't find replacement parts for these nursery droids. So once they're gone, they're gone. They're not coming back. So it's like he's almost dead in a way. And of course, C-3PO and R2-D2 encounter him, defeat the man, and they have an idea that the Baron's kid created like this big hulking battle droid, and they have an idea. They give the brain to the battle droid, and as the two nursery droids are once again skipping on top of the serpent comes out to get him, and instead of running, he kind of goes gloop, and he runs away because the big hulking battle droid is right there with him. And then he turns around, and it's, you know, C1 whatever they call him, and he's holding hands with each one of the little nursery droids, and they're skipping away together, like their friendship is reunited. And it's a simple little story that has nothing to do with the overall, like Olag isn't the bad guy here or anything, and it's nice. It's a really nice story. I don't know why, but for some reason I really like that one. Next up, you have the special. The special has, and I believe, because I have a little trade paperback, so I don't really know if this was the special or something else, but it seems like there's a short story where R2-D2 gets captured by pirates and then very quickly escapes and gets back. He was supposed to be waiting outside as the Baron and C-3PO went in, and when he comes back out, R2-D2 is still there, and they're like, "Oh, there you are, R2. Wait patiently." And of course, he had a little mini adventure. And then the next one is a Z unit, which I'm very familiar with. This is from the Marvel universe. There's a little bit of crossover there because Z units are like policing units. They're red droids who carry kind of like nightclubs. And anyway, the nightclubs, just regular clubs, you know. What do I want to do with a nightclub? Too old for those things. Anyway, this Z unit wants to bring Olag Grek to justice, and he's got some robots to help him out. But as they track down Olag, he has a giant gladiator droid that's just huge, that's just munching through them, munching through all the droids. Of course, R2-D2 and C-3PO are there. They defeat the big battle droid, and Olag escapes. But Zed deputizes C-3PO and R2 and puts them in a ship to go after Olag. Now, this is all fun. This is all great. It's going to tie into the next series, which I will talk about next time.